if your kids treat candy like a fifth food group, it may be time to rethink the family meal plan.
It's not the fifth food group?
It's not.
Althea, it's not the fifth food
Not
group?
really, no.
Althea Zanecosky, dietitian extraordinaire, is here with a few ways to beef up the healthy side of your children's diet. Thank you for coming, Athea. This is really an important topic.
And it is. And we're leading up to Mother's Day, and moms ask me all kinds of questions. These are the ones that I get asked the most, and it's not such a hard thing to do. The latest thing is omega-3s, and a lot of moms say, are my kids really supposed to be getting this? Omega-3s are good for our heart. What we also know is what's good for your heart is also good for your brain.
Now, don't you usually get that by eating fish, omega-3s?
You do, and a lot of kids don't like to eat fish, and so that's the problem. The mom and the dad are eating salmon, and it's like, here's the salmon, and the kid goes, ew, I really don't want to have that.
I'm not a big fan of salmon either, I got to tell you.
Well, if you're not, then you're a big kid, and here's some other foods that you can have.
Okay.
Now, while you might not want infant formula, because omega-3s are in infant formula now, because it's good for their brain, milk now has it. You can buy it in milk. This one I think you might like, walnuts. Put them in your salad.
I love walnuts.
Are these candied?
These are candied. So these have maple on the outside. They're really not any more calories than regular walnuts, because kids sometimes don't really want to eat walnuts. They might eat these.
Yep, those are very good.
Sorrento has a new product out.
I'm getting a rush of brain power.
There you go. They have omega-3 cheeses, omega-3 cheeses. So I've seen these by Sorrento. You can cook in omega-3 oils.
So is it
that
normally,
peanut butter?
is it naturally, go ahead.
And it's put in. It's added to it.
It is added, and is it added to the cheese, or is it naturally
It's added to the cheese. So
right.
this is the first ones that I've seen, and kids like to eat these cheese sticks. So when you go to the supermarket, look for omega-3s, because kids don't really want to have salmon most of the time.
Right.
How much omega-3 do you need?
Adults need about a gram. Kids need anywhere from a half of a gram to a gram. Standard 3 ounces of salmon gives you a gram.
And is that listed on the side?
All these are listed in their product, so it would have what's in there just in case.
Now,
for walnuts, about a handful a couple of times a week would be fine.
All right. Now, one of the big issues when it comes to moms and kids want sugar, sugar, sugar.
They do. And we're born preferring sweet taste.
Yes.
And they looked at infants in hospitals, the ones that had sugar in their formula drank more than the ones that didn't.
Interesting.
Breast milk is very sweet. Couple of good things. One thing we know now is new study out of the American Dietetic Association, just out. Kids that drink flavored milk, which is sweet, they had lower body mass index. That means the amount of fat versus muscle on their body. It was good, and they consume less sugar during the day. So if your kid wants something sweet, look for the good stuff. Look for flavored milk. New juices that are out. This is called First Juice. It's reduced sugar juice.
Really?
So, yeah, these are great.
It is juice. It's actual juice.
100% juice,
They
but
just suck some of the
reduced
sugar. Interesting.
Yeah. So you can buy these. You can also buy a lot of their favorite drinks reduced sugar.
But light.
Light. So you see that. And nature's favorite sweet food, fruits.
And it's like if you raise them on the light, then they don't necessarily want the sugary stuff.
By the way, as a dietitian, sugar substitutes are safe. You hear all this news. If you buy something with a sugar substitute for your kid, it's safe for children. So don't worry.
Growing children also need their protein. Problem some people run into is kids may or may not like the taste of meat.
A lot of them, the taste is where it's too strong. So there's lots of things you can do. Eggs are a great source of protein. So if you're not a vegan, an egg once in a while for a kid is wonderful because it's a good source of iron. Tofu, cut up in little chunks. These are for you, Bill. This is SpongeBob or Sponge Bill. Yogurt is a great source of protein. Any dairy food is.
Yeah.
It's a yogurt tube.
Yeah, they're
how about that?
Yeah, and you can freeze them and then take them to the bus stop.
Kids love something they can squeeze. It's easy to.
They like to play with their food.
I'd break into it, but I'd be wearing it.
Too. When we get to low fat, a lot of people are on low fat diets as adults because they're either trying to maintain weight or reduce the risk of heart disease or cancer. And moms will go, if I'm eating low fat foods, is it safe for my kid?
Yeah, do they get enough of what they need?
American Academy of Pediatrics, the gold standard says for a child under 1, you shouldn't restrict any fat in their diet because you really need it for brain development. After that, it's okay to put a kid on a low-fat food. In fact, they should be off of whole milk by the time they're 2 years old and be going on reduced fat milk. And there's a lot of ways that you can do it that they won't even know it. The chicken nuggets, you can buy the chicken tenders, and a lot of kids like to eat them. The amount of fat in them is half. A lot of these low-fat cheeses you can sprinkle on food. They enjoy that. They have reduced fat peanut butter. All of us should be eating the reduced fat meat. This is 93% lean. So when you're making hamburgers or any of those other kinds of foods that come from beef, choose the really low fat because kids don't need the extra fat. Childhood obesity is just blowing up in our country and at risk of heart disease. Kids are getting heart disease sooner.
I'm wondering, 100 years ago, was there less fat in the diet overall?
There probably was, but we were also more active, so we burned it off. So it's a combination. So, but the good news is a lot of food manufacturers are taking fat out of foods, and it still really tastes good.
And also, you write some great alternatives for meat. Is it okay to raise a child vegetarian?
Yes, it is.
If you are yourself?
And I get asked that all of the time. You have to make sure they're getting enough calories. Nutrition-wise, it's really not a problem, but because vegetarian diets are usually lower in calories, you have to make sure they're getting enough calories. But if they're eating peanut butter, and if they're vegan, there shouldn't really be a problem. Check with your pediatrician, too.
All right, Athea Zanecosky, thank you so much. Great information leading up to Mother's Day.
We'll be right back with more of The 10 Show. Thank you, Athea.